Welcome back to No Chill with Gilbert Arenas. The Celtics have punched their ticket to the finals. Gil, you sitting on that throne. Gilstradamus, your prediction was correct. Boston got through, and I see you rocking that hostile territory jersey on right now. The Celtics will be in some hostile territory this Thursday as they go to game one of the finals in San Francisco against Steph and the Warriors. But first things first, we got to talk this Miami Heat. Valiant effort to try to come back late in the game. Jimmy Butler feeling himself a little bit. He's 17 seconds left to go. He took that go-ahead three-pointer. You know, Jeff Van Gundy said it wasn't the right shot. Gil, do you think that was a good shot or a bad shot?
We're both going to just be honest here. Said Jeff Van Gundy's never played NBA basketball. I mean, we both can agree on that one. But, you know, it's easy when you're watching a game to tell someone what's a good shot and what's a bad shot. So in hindsight, yes, it was a bad shot because you have Al Horton on you. You have him backing up on a fast break. Most likely if you hezzy, he's going to come up. You're going to blow by him, wide open layup because everybody was stuck on their man. That's the easy hindsight when you get to slow the game down, but the game is moving faster than that. He's at home. He's feeling himself. He's done carried this franchise. He's done carried this team on his back the whole season, all through the playoffs. So if he makes it, amazing shot. If he misses it, bad shot. But, you know, it's his decision to make because he's the one that's out there playing. He sees what he sees. So it's hard to tell a guy in the moment that that's a bad shot. You know, only he can answer that. You know, it's easy for me to sit back and look at it and slow it down and say, oh, you gave him a hezzy, went by him, easy layup. But, you know, as far as Al Horton was off of him, you know, that shot looked amazing.
So got to ask you, Jimmy played all 48 minutes in this game. Do you think that was a good decision by Coach Spoelstra? We saw KD do this last year. He played all 53 against the Bucks in that Game 7. Do guys just need to say, you know, F it, they got to play the whole game in Game 7s? Or did he need a little bit of a blow? Because he did look tired late in that game, like his legs were starting to fail him a little bit. So do you agree with the decision to play him the whole game?
Who else was they going to put in? Let's just be honest. Who else was they going to put in at this point? You know, when it's closeout games like that, you know, you're down. You know, they were down the whole game. So, you know, pulling Jimmy was really no option. There was no option. Sproul didn't have no option to pull him. You know, as much as you would like for him to get some rest, there was no wiggle room for Jimmy to go on that bench, and then by the time he got back in, they're down 10, 15 points. So you hope that a player like him will find somewhere to take a play off. Maybe on defense, maybe on offense, somebody fouled, you know, a timeout here and there, you spill some water. That's where the Jason Kidd spill some water on the floor comes from. You know, try to figure out, I got to time a shoe a little bit. You know, try to figure out how to, you know, get a little bit of rest during the game, especially since you can't come out.
So Jimmy Butler, 47 in Game 6, willed the Heat to victory to send it back to Miami for Game 7. Came through with 35 in this game. Did his supporting cast let him down?
Oh, they were trash. You know, I mean, let's just be honest. It's like you got 3 players on the team that's playing 30-something minutes that 0, you know, and 2 players under 10. You know, you're talking about a Game 7. You know, he doesn't carry. He had 40-something last game. You know, he needs help. That's, you know, he's going against, you know, 2 super studs. And then Marcus Smart, a defensive player of the year. So obviously he has his hands full. Y'all need to chip in and do something. You know, but the fact that, you know, the rest of the team didn't really, you know, help him much offensively, you know, kind of hurt them a little bit, you know, especially being at home.
So let's talk about Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry, NBA Twitter was buzzing. He was getting some flopping going, you know, tricking the refs. But I want to ask you, because after that happened, I kind of tweeted something along the lines of that tricking the refs is an essential part of basketball, all the way from, you know, high school AAU all the way to the pros. There's 3 refs on the court. You're going to do whatever you can do to get a competitive advantage, get yourself to the line, get free throws. Some fans seem to be against foul baiting or whatever they call it out there. You know, they talk about guys like Trae Young and James Harden and Luka that are masters of it. But I want to know, where do you stand, Gil? Is this good for the game or bad for the game?
You know, It's part of the game. It's not good or bad. It's just part of the game. A great offensive player is going to foul bait, right? He's going to try to figure out how to get the fouls, how to trick the refs. Same thing with someone like Marcus Smart. We celebrated on the defensive end when Marcus Smart takes these charges and do all this and, fakes all these hits and he gets rewarded for it. It works the other way too on offense. I mean, if it can happen for the defense, it can happen for the offense. But I think because so many free throws are being taken in on the offensive side, I think people are more irritated when it comes from offensive players versus defensive players. They're like, Vlade Divac hated playing defense. He always flopped. I mean, he never wanted to stay in front of Shaq. He always flopped. That's just part of the game. You know that. You know what Marcus Smart's going to do. You know what Kyle Lowry's going to do. That's part of the game that you're playing.
So you got the Celtics. They lost their last 3 trips to the conference finals. Jason Tatum lost his last 2. He was named MVP. When you look at this squad, what do you like about this team going into the finals? Obviously, there was talk early on in the season, we were doing shows about how they needed to trade either Tatum or Brown for this Celtics squad to be effective. You were against that very vehemently, said that would be a bad decision. So first and foremost, how you feel knowing, again, you sitting on that throne, knowing that once again you were right about some shit?
Listen. It's just making educated decisions. You're trading 2 players that's under 25 and under, trying to figure out their game. Why trade them? There was other expendable pieces other than them 2. So, trading players who are just finally trying to get into their own, really figuring out the NBA. They're 25, 24 years old. So trading them would have been a mistake because you got to remember, Steph Curry wasn't Steph Curry until he was 27. You know what I mean? So, you have to give these guys time to develop, time for them to understand the game. Their chances of winning, you know what I mean? But this is going to be a learning experience going into next season.
So after the Warriors won the Western Conference Finals, Draymond Green, in an interview with TNT, the Inside the NBA crew, said that they were going to be playing Boston. He was right. Should he feel vindicated after predicting the Celtics-Warriors finals?
Listen, everyone knew that Boston was going in the championship besides the Miami team. I mean, when you look at it, it was just Jimmy Butler. But the fact that you're playing Jimmy Butler the way you're playing Jimmy Butler is one of those players that's like he's a second or an amazing third option that fills in the gaps. Jimmy he can, but he doesn't want to score 40. He wants to make sure everyone can remember, if he's scoring 40, that means your team is done. And he just said, you know what? I had enough. Let me do me. I don't know why Tyler Hero wasn't playing this series. Technically, he was the leading scorer this season. He did have the most points this season in regular season. So the fact that he didn't play much in the series took away 20-something points. Is Draymond happy? Draymond's Draymond. He knew who he was playing. He knew he was going to get up for. So, Draymond's a student of the game, though. So he can see who the better opponent is.
So Tyler Hero obviously battling some injuries and forced him to miss some games. Tried to come back in Game 7. Does this series end differently if Tyler Hero is healthy?
No. No. But he helps. He helps. Because you got to remember, you're talking about someone taking 3-4 plays off. Now that 3 by Jimmy Butler, now he has a little bit more energy for that shot. Maybe that ball is in Tyler Hero's hand instead of Jimmy's hand. And, it's just so many scenarios. But, when you're talking about a Game 7, 7 minutes, nah, even if he's coming back, let him go. This is it. 7 minutes for what? Let him go. See what he can do. See if he can spark something. Remember that time they put Nunn in the game? Nunn came in, had 17 points, quick one. Never seen him again. is. Sometimes you need people to come mix it up, and that's what it was.
So back to Draymond and his comments real quick. Just want to know, do you think that Draymond broke the code, quote unquote, with that prediction?
What's the code?
There seems to be some code that some guys seem to speak of, that you don't talk like that, but he was right. So what can we say to the man?
I don't even know what code. I think anytime you say something that somebody don't like, it's a code now. You broke the code. You broke the code. You broke the code. Ain't no goddamn code. If that team's sorry and I know who's gonna win it, that's what you just said. I didn't know there was a code. Like there's a code that I can't say that we're gonna be playing Boston. Okay.
So NBA Finals tip off on Thursday on ABC. You can catch all the action on Fubo TV. We might be doing some special stuff for the finals, so fans need to check out for that as well. Y'all can come hang out with us. But I want to know, how do you think the Warriors and Celtics match up?
You know what? I like the matchup. You know, it's going to be, perimeter guard play. You know, you got the big three. I'm not counting Draymond as the big three on this one. Wiggins going to have to step up. With Clay, Wiggins, and Curry versus shit. Because I wanted to call them big three, but they're not a big three. There's a big two and a little one.
About 2 1/4.
There's a 2 1/4. Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and Tatum. It's going to be interesting because Marcus is up for this challenge against Curry. And I think with Curry not winning the Finals MVP, and that's one thing he wants to do, I think that entices Marcus Smart to lock in more. To do the one thing that, because with this being said, that the one knock against Curry was he's never performed in the finals to win a Finals MVP. If you're Boston, you're going to be playing for that. That he's going to be coming out gun ho. Let him become a passer first, early in the series. So if I'm Marcus, my whole thing is to really shut him down, or just make him take tough shots, make him think about self, to see if any type of selfishness goes into his brain, in his finals, to try to get that. But I think the key to this game is going to be, the key to this series, on Boston side, those two, the big two, going to have to just be great. On Warrior side, it's Wiggins for me. I think if Wiggins shows up, then it's going to be hard to beat Golden State.
No Chill is brought to you by Mudwtr.
Man, Gil, I think I'm done with coffee. I've been drinking Mudwtr every morning, barely caffeine, all mushrooms, but not those mushrooms. You get what I'm saying? I get all the energy I need for those 5 a.m. workouts with the kids, and more importantly, the afternoon crash isn't there. I get all the focus, no crash. That's huge for me. Not only that, on the back end of the day, my sleep's better. Mudwtr's made with chai, turmeric, cinnamon, and a dream team of adaptogens and herbs to promote relaxation and calm. So if you're looking for something to replace your morning coffee, something to give you energy throughout the day without the crash, and that helps you sleep well at night, it's time to try Mudwtr. Go to mudwtr.com/nochill and use code NOCHILL to get 15% off your first purchase. That's MUDWTR.com/nochill and use code NOCHILL for 15% off. All orders ship within US and Canada. Enjoy it. Get muddy with it. So you talked about Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year, going up against Steph Curry, who's one of the best offensive players the game has ever seen. Some would argue the best. I'll leave that open to debate. Let y'all worry about that.
Offensive players are shooters.
Yeah. But do you think that Marcus Smart has a realistic, legit chance of trying to lock up Steph, especially knowing that Steph, obviously coming off that Western Conference Finals MVP, is now gunning for that Finals MVP, trying to get that last elusive Infinity Stone that is not been within his grasp the previous 3 championships he's won. Do you think that Marcus has a legit chance of locking up Steph?
Yes. Locking him up, I mean, when you're talking about locking up an NBA player, the thought is like, I'm going to hold him under like 10. That's not going to happen.
What should Marcus Smart be happy with if he's guarding Steph?
If Steph is going, 10 for 22, 10 for 25, 3 for 12 from the three-point line, Marcus Smart has done a great-ass job. And all Marcus Smart is going to do is just be there. Just be there. You know what I mean? Make it hard for him. Make other people beat you. Make Poole beat you. Which he's capable of. Shit. Make Wiggins have a good game. So you're going to have somebody else beat you because you know what Steph does.
Steph, again, looking for that first Finals MVP. Do you think he's the front runner? And who's most likely to win that Finals MVP?
I'll say Clay.
Wow.
Clay, Tatum, Brown, Wiggins, Curry.
In that order. So you don't even have, you got Steph, what, like fifth?
Was it 4? So I got Clay 1.
Yep.
He has the easiest chance because I'm, with Golden State winning, then yeah. And then Tatum, Brown, Wiggins, Curry.
Wow. Steph fans, if you're watching this.
No. But you gotta think of it. So when it comes to matchups, right? Who has the hardest defensive player on him? Curry.
Exactly.
Right? Tatum's not a very defensive player, so Wiggins is really not, so Tatum is going to have his way. With Wiggins, with Clay, he becomes the outlet pass, right? And if Tatum is guarding him, then going to be open shots all day. So, he's first, Tatum is second, and then Jaylen Brown is still a one-on-one player. So whoever Wiggins or Clay is guarding, who's not guarding, that's the player who's going to be scoring. Wiggins, because Tatum don't really play D, so just like Jimmy Butler, if he hones in on his offensive ability, he can be that guy that averages about 20-something. And then, obviously, everyone's favorite, Curry just has a matchup that I think is going to take it personal. And I don't see Curry going for 40, 30, stuff like that if they're trying to win this series. If they're trying to win this series, there's going to be a lot of switches, a lot of doubles. He's going to have to play off the ball a lot. I mean, there's just so many things that go into it where it kind of puts him in fifth when it comes to, the probabilities of him winning,
Gil, you haven't been wrong yet, so I can't question you. You come with some great takes that have lived up, so I can't question you. We're gonna see definitely how things are gonna pan out with Game 1 this Thursday. But there's been a lot of talk about this Warrior squad. The Warriors saying that they don't need KD to win. The Warriors being a dynasty. But I want to know, in your opinion, who's had the better dynasty since 2010, the Warriors or LeBron?
The Warriors are. Ooh. LeBron has 4 rings in that 2010, right?
Yes, his 20 and 12, I believe.
2, 1, and 1.
So he's got all four rings in the last 10 years.
Okay, that's it. I'm going to give it to Golden State.
Okay.
Because it's the same group. You got the same trio. So even though LeBron's had, impeccable talent that he's done, grab these stones with, you got to give credit to the guys who did it. When everyone wrote him off. Clay's been hurt 2 years straight. Everyone wrote him off. But just for context, did they need KD to win a championship? Yes. At that moment in time, they did need KD to overthrow LeBron at that moment in time. Well, LeBron is not on that East Coast being the threat anymore. So at this point, no, they do not need KD to win a championship. They're fine with the group they had, but at that moment in time, back then when KD joined them, they did need KD.
Just to play devil's advocate, what Warriors fans are saying, they're saying they didn't need KD. They just needed KD to not be on OKC or Cleveland or like 2 or 3 other teams in the league to be able to get over that hump. You know, Houston.
No, they needed KD to offset LeBron, because at that moment in time, LeBron was offsetting 2 of the stars, and then from there, Kyrie and Kevin Love was more than enough. That was, you couldn't. It was one of those things where, you know, even though it was 3-1 and it came back, it was still a win. No matter how it looked, I had it 1-1 no matter what. You know, that first championship where Kyrie got hurt, Love got hurt. You know what I mean? I would have gave that to Cleveland. You know, Cleveland won. They went and grabbed KD. Smart. Smart. So we don't know. You can't say if you guys would have won those next 2 championships. Probably not. You know, best case scenario, give you 1-1. But with KD, it was like the ultimate stamp, because he single-handedly offsets LeBron. So that means Clay and Kyrie are playing against. Back then it was J.R. Smith, and you know, so it's like the third option was J.R. Smith, that, you know, averaging 14, you know, 12, 14 against Clay, who was averaging 22 at the time. You know what I mean? So it was a real big offset, you know, with adding KD.
So last question I got for you. It became official. We talked about this recently, but Darvin Ham has been named the next Lakers head coach. You said if Doc Rivers was the choice that you were going to become a Clippers fan. Are you excited about Darvin Ham taking over, and what are your prospects for the Lakers this upcoming season?
Hey, listen, it was more like that Trump, you know, that 2000, was it 2020?
Yeah.
Anybody but him. You know, I think that's what we was up to. Anybody but him. Like, how is somebody who has who's on the team as a coach already trying to get another job? That's how you know it's bad. You on a team already under contract trying to get a whole nother job. But with Darvin Ham, it's just, you know, just like I said before, I don't have anything, you know, negative to say, because I don't really know his coaching styles, coaching philosophy. You know, all I can do is just sit back, watch, see who he surrounds himself with, and then go from there. Hopefully he keeps some of the training staff, you know, that was training some of the players, because, you know, from an offensive standpoint, you know, you had a great staff that really puts individual skill into the players.
Well, I appreciate you as always, Gil, and just a reminder to everyone out there.
I'm going to throw something out there for all the Philly fans. When I said I talked to Elton Brand, it was a middleman. I talked to the middleman. The middleman lays the message to Elton. So it wasn't me directly. So Elton wasn't actually listening to me say, do not pick, you know, Doc Rivers, because it was going to team up. That's the message I relayed through my source to relay it to him.
So you were back channeling.
So we're just gonna pretend Elton Brand didn't get this message, because that's how he got the job. Because if he would have just listened to me, everything would have been great. He would have been in the championship. Boom! This would be Philly versus Golden State. So obviously my guy didn't relay the message to him, because Doc is there.
So you out here using mediators to send messages, communications?
I mean, sources, you know, but I didn't realize I said you know what I mean? It was relayed, you know, so I want to clear that up. I don't want Elton to be mad at me, but it was sourced.
Okay. It was relayed for everybody out there. That's what it is.
Yeah, I had to relay, hey, man, can you tell Elton, man, don't do it. Don't do it. Hey, I should have known, because he did. I was like, man, that nigga just ain't listen to me, huh?
Hey, good things don't happen when people don't listen to you, though.
Take me serious around here.
Well, I'll take you serious, guy. I appreciate you. So we're out of time on this edition of No Chill, but we're going to be live streaming during the finals right here on YouTube. We're kicking things off for Game 2 of the finals on Sunday, June 5th from Gil's legendary basement. Gil, who should we have pull up to watch the finals with us?
You know, I want you know, let's get especially since it's Oakland. We're gonna let's go after Los.
Okay.
and Max is Nice. Let's try to get them too.
Okay, for sure. So Famous Loves and Max is Nice. If you're watching the show, come pull up. We're going to have some snacks. Gil keeps his fridge stocked with some elaborate, delicious snacks. I will say that. Y'all know I love snacks more than anybody, so I appreciate that. And if y'all come through, we're going to have some snacks for y'all. But it's been another edition of Heat Check on No Chill with Gilbert Arenas. We'll be back with more very soon.
Brayden Jennings, baby!